Ready to go, ready to go.
All right, everybody set?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, ready to
I'd
go.
like to call the Tuesday, April 27th meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a roll call vote, please.
Hutton,
Here.
Nancy Reagan,
Here.
Roger Brock,
Here.
Dennis Radowski,
Here.
Kathleen Hill,
Here,
5 present. We have a quorum.
all right. Could we have a motion to table the approval of the minutes for June 29th, 2016, May 24th, 2017, July 26th, 2017, February 25th, 2020, August 25th, 2020, December 1st, 2020?
I'll make that motion.
Nancy, want to state your name so we all know who and she can.
Oh, yeah.
record it?
Nancy Reagan makes the motion.
Do we have a second?
So moved. This is Dennis Radowski making second.
And could we have a roll call vote?
William Hutton,
Yes.
Nancy Reagan,
Yes.
Roger Brock,
Yes.
Dennis Radowski,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
Yes,
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions. Motion passed.
and what is the pleasure of the board in regard to the minutes for March 30th, 2021?
Bill Hutton, Madam President, I approve those minutes. Make a motion.
Do we have a
Oh,
second?
Second, Roger.
We have a motion, a second, roll call vote?
Dennis Radowski,
Yes.
Roger Brock,
Yes.
Nancy Reagan,
Yes.
William Hutton,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
Yes,
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions. Motion passed.
right. I do not see anything under old business. Is there anything under old business that have come to our attention?
No old business.
Okay, then we will move to the first item under new business, which is Z-21-08 petition of Adrian Pello for a variance of use regarding Title Section 10.10(16) and Title Section 9.10 to allow the operation of a tattoo parlor in a C3 central business district located at the northwest corner of Holman Avenue and Russell Street in the city of Hammond. Have all notification requirements been sent and received back,
Yes, they have.
right? Right, is there a petitioner that would like to address the board at this time?
Is that us? Is that what we, us? Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Adrian.
Could you state your name and address? If both of you are going to speak, you can give your both names at the same time, okay?
Okay. My name is Adrian. This is my wife, Donnelly's Palat. We live at 63 Kenwood Street in Hammond, Indiana. Excuse me. For the location is 57 Russell or 5270 Holman.
All right, would you like to tell us about what your plans are?
Yes, my plans are to open a tattoo shop, and not only will I be tattooing there, I will be doing community service from there also. I did realize that in the area there are homeless people in the area, and the church, St. Joseph's Church, while they give out free lunches every daily for the people, I was also I've done it also a couple times. I was out there just giving out clothes for the homeless people, especially during the winter times when it was colder, you know, just trying to do my part in reaching out to the community, you know, and helping other people, you know, that's in need of help. And just basically just using that shop as a catalyst to reach out and do more community work also.
Mr. Pellet, can you just briefly describe the tattoo business? Just a couple of sentences.
On the tattoo business, basically, we provide a service for people that are looking to either decorate or their bodies with tattoos for different meanings. It could be something that's a very like a spiritual meaning for them. It could be helping with closure for a loss of a loved one or a situation. And that's basically what it is. It's a way of connecting with people.
Mhm. Yeah, just to clarify the certain facts of it, you said that you plan to be open 5 days a week, and it's just going to be you at first, but you might expand to 4 stations total, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it. Okay, yeah. And anyone you're going to hire, you said it's going to be at least 3 years of experience too. So yeah, I just thought those are important things to know. So.
Okay, and then the location 57 Russell is just a rental unit that is in the building that has the address of 5270 Homan, correct?
Correct. Correct. But my unit is facing Russell, is not facing on Holman itself. I'm more towards the alley, close to the alley.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, anything else at this time that you'd like to comment about?
I just think that just to note that we are residents here in Hammond, and we do live like literally about a mile away from the shop. So when we were considering opening this, it was my husband's been tattooing for about 17 years now. We did consider going to Illinois, but at the same time, we did our research and we've seen the plans that the mayor does have for the city and the downtown area, of course, as well. So we just thought that it would be a good shop and a good business to be able to help redevelop an area that we believe in. We also have 4 children that also attend schools. Well, one of them already graduated, but also have attended Hammond schools. I myself used to be a Hammond school teacher, so it's something that we believe in. And so that's why we were trying to put it in a place where we literally consider close to home.
And also be a part of the art district that is going to be soon forming down there too also.
Do any of the board members have any questions? I did notice in as far as in your business proposal that you would be also doing as far as selling products and as far as canvas art for sale and or commission that would be in the facility.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It is to my knowledge too, that as far as the church there is not just homeless people, but they do feed many families that are in need of food and things like that. So it is not that. And, you know, maybe it'd even be nice to make sure that that was in as far as the the variance for use, that would be part of something that you would be doing to help out, because they are, there's so many people that are in need in this. Absolutely admirable that you would want to do something like that. So I don't know if any
Absolutely.
other board members feel that same way or anything like that.
Madam
Also, it stated that you'll be adding more artists to also be helping you as the business progressed, or
Yes,
I would
ma'am.
assume.
Madam
And you made a comment as far as apprentice that you would be having working with you. Does that mean, because I am not seeing a copy of the ordinance for as far as the tattooing and body piercing, the code. But I'm with listing what we've had to read. It said you have to have 3 years experience to be
For
able.
any, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, they said you had to have 3 years experience to be able to do the tattooing?
Absolutely, yes. You have to have in-shop experience. Not really looking for apprentices, but more of a established artists who are already well versed and are pretty well far off into the craft.
All right.
Madam
Anyone
Chairman,
else have any questions, or just Mrs. Hill? All right, can we move into hearing no other questions or comments from board members? Can we move into a period of public comments? Does anybody like to speak for or against this?
Hi, this is Phil Talon. I'm the Chief of Staff for the City of Hammond. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to speak on behalf of the petitioners, Adrian and his wife. I know them, I know their family. I visited their shop in downtown Hammond. I think it's going to be excellent to fit in with what we're trying to do in downtown Hammond. We obviously want to create and have more arts in downtown. So I, as far as I'm concerned, I just want to speak on their behalf and say that, I know they're going to run a great business there. It's going to be something that's going to have a positive impact on all of downtown and not just that small area. And I've been to many successful downtowns throughout Lake County that have tattoo parlors and tattoo shops in those downtown areas, and they fit real well, and they turn out to be good community businesses. So I just wanted to give my opinion and let everybody know that I'm in support of the petitioners.
Any other comments? Any other comments? All right, we'll close this period of public comments. Anything else the petitioners they would like to say?
I would just like to say that we're first of all, we're pleased to be able to even come before you guys and bring our petition before you. And secondly, we just hope that everything will work out well there. And we're looking forward to the renovation for the entire Hammond, downtown Hammond district, actually.
Any other questions from board members? Do you have a shop already in Hammond where Mr. Talon had mentioned he had visited your shop? Do you have another location?
No, ma'am. No, just the one that I'm trying to get going right now.
Oh, so you've already set up and everything like that?
Yeah, I have a spot. I already started decorating and renovating, and not working in it, but waiting to up the decision that's made today.
Okay.
Yeah, it all resulted from they applied for their business license, and when it came across my desk, this is kind of how the whole process began. So, we realized that we needed a variance of use at that point. So
I'm sorry, Mr.
they've been
Novak, could you
cooperative
be a
ever
little bit
since.
louder? I could not hear what you were saying.
I'm sorry. I said that they applied for a business license, and when it came across my desk, that's when we realized we needed the variance of use. That's kind of how this whole process started. So, they've been nothing but cooperative ever since we, discovered this, so.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Comments? Then, could we have the staff report?
I can read in the recommendation.
Pardon?
I can read in the recommendation if the board pleases the board.
I've been asked to request a staff report. What is the staff preference?
Tom, go ahead and read the recommendation.
Okay. The staff has reviewed the petitioner's proposal and recommends that the board make a favorable recommendation of the grants of use to the city council. Should the board feel the petitioners met the standards, subject to the petitioners, 1, maintaining compliance with Hammond City Code, Chapter 127, which is, tattoo and body piercing establishments.
All right, we have now findings of fact to deal with. Anything that the board would like to do as far as a motion to adopting the findings of fact as presented to us, or that would they like to make any amendments? What's the pleasure of the board in regard to findings of fact? Can everybody hear me, or am I not being loud enough?
I'll make the motion that, of the finding of facts that they met them.
Okay, so you're accepting as far as presented?
Yes, this is Nancy Reagan.
This is Bill Hutton. I'll second that.
Okay, could we have a roll call vote?
Sadowski,
Yes.
Nancy Reagan,
Yes,
Roger Brock,
Yes.
William Hutton,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
All right, the next thing would be as far as we need a motion in regard to how we would like to send Z-2108 to the council, common council, for variance of use.
I'll make that motion, Nancy.
How are you making it? How would you like to address the council with this?
Make the
Favorably,
motion.
unfavorably, or denial? Or no
And we'll
comment?
send it, no, we'll send it favorably.
All right. We have a motion to send this to the common council with a favorable recommendation.
Yes,
Do we have a second?
Bill Hutton. I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call vote?
William Hutton,
Yes.
Roger Brock,
Yes.
Nancy Reagan,
yes,
Dennis Radowski,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
I'm going to abstain.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 1 abstention, motion passed.
All right.
Point
Good luck.
point of order.
Yes.
Secretary would be 4 ayes, 1 abstention.
I'm sorry, that is correct. 4 ayes.
All right. Hold on.
Yeah, all right, thank you, you guys.
Good
Are free
luck.
to go if you wish. Yeah. But best of luck. Yeah.
Yep. There you go,
Yeah,
Captain. There too.
Yeah, feel free to give us a call later this week. Yeah.
Yeah, because we'll try and get this on the next council agenda.
Thank you.
That's it.
Right, we have, moving on, we have Z-21-10, petition of TJ Ferrantella for a variance of use regarding title section 10.11 and title section 9.10 to allow for the operation of a vehicle repair and restoration garage in a C3 Central Business District located at 475 Fayette Street in the city of Hammond. Have all notification requirements been sent and have they been received?
Yes, they have.
All right. Mr. Ferrantella, I see your photo and your name. Would you like to make a presentation?
Sure, thank you. My name is TJ Ferrantella, and I'm a longtime business owner and operator in the city of Hammond.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you right now. Can you state your address?
Sure, my mailing address is the site address, 475 Fayette Street, Hammond, Indiana, 46320.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Sure. As I stated, I'm a longtime business owner and operator in Hammond. I've worked in Hammond continuously since 1988, when I was the majority shareholder of Engineered Constructors and Engineered Companies. Engineered concentrated on mostly industrial construction projects, but did several projects that we're really proud of. One was the final phase of Lost Marsh Golf Course, the Hammond Bird Sanctuary, all of the infrastructure for the Millennium Subdivision, the construction of all the foundations for both phases of the casino. The company purchased this building at 475 Fayette Street in 2013 and has occupied it continuously since until we ceased active construction operations in 2016. So acquired it in 2013. And finally completed the very orderly wind down of operations in 2020. The reason why we purchased the building is we had trouble with the theft of steel products from our former location at 710 Michigan Street. And after watching the Hammond police at work resolving those, I was just in awe. We decided to relocate to this facility because of its proximity to the Hammond police station. I'll walk you through the presentation, and beginning on page 3, I explain in the cover letter that this is going to be a service center for classic and vintage cars primarily, but it will also do service for modern cars. I expect this to be a very attractive, a very clean, well-run business. This is the kind of business where there will be special events. So there'll be ad hoc car shows, the kinds of things that'll draw people. It's been interesting. I see a lot of synergy that can be developed. Drew Fox from 18th Street Brewery and Distillery and I have talked. We see the synergy that we can create with our two businesses. If you have a chance to look at the photos, and I'll walk you through those. It's a very interesting configuration for the building. There's a 50-foot by 50-foot courtyard that provides a bit of a screen from the street of anything that might look unorderly, but in that courtyard, we're not proposing there's going to be any significant parking because across the street, there's parking for nearly 40 cars. What I envision is there'll be maybe 3 or 4 types of workshops: a conventional mechanic shop, a restoration and detailing studio. I would love to have an upholsterer in there, and we'll see what else develops. This is a different kind of business. I need to listen carefully to the classic car community to hear what they want. I want to see what kind of interest is drawn from the community. Because more than anything else, I want this to be a kind of place that draws everybody, regardless of whether or not you own a classic car, regardless of your socioeconomic class, regardless of whether or not you're going to be doing a high-end restoration, or if you're just going to be fixing your own car and need some advice and guidance. I firmly believe there's more than one way to do a restoration. Honestly, I'm developing this business because I've seen a lot of arrogance in car restorations, and I think that people in Northwest Indiana have a lot more common sense than that. Background on the building: it was built in 1933 as a repair garage. It was Shaver Pontiac's annex. When World War II hit, it was the plumbing and sheet metal shops for Hammond Technical Vocational High School. For a short time, it was Miller's Office Supply, but for the most part of recent history, it was Firestone's Truck Tire Center. From about 1968 until we bought it in 2013, and then operated our contractor's repair facility in that building until ceasing operation in 2016, and until we did the wind down of operations and completed it in 2020. The Engineered Use, which this was my company that purchased the building was considered a continuation of the same use that Firestone used it as. And it was given a special use variance in order to do outside storage on the vacant lot across the street. More than anything else, as I said before, I want this to be a very open kind of business where people feel comfortable coming in for guidance, for advice. I want to build a community. If I can direct your attention to page 9, you'll see photographs. The first one at the top of the page came from the 1949 Hammond Technical Vocational High School yearbook. That was that was the final year it was used for the high school shops. In the next photographs, you can see when it was operated as Firestone, and it was pretty ugly and dilapidated. If you look at page 10, you can see the transformation that we've effected with the building during the different phases of renovation. And then if you look at page 11 at the bottom, it's got a very interesting interior with a barrel truss roof that is in excellent shape. The building is squeaky clean. Among the things that we had to do was abate asbestos, take care of structural problems, modernize a lot of the utility systems, and all that's been done since 2013. On page 12, it explains how the primary areas of the building will be used. It talks about the courtyard use being a very attractive use because it has to make a strong statement of entry for the public. The west building area, that's the area that sits back by about 50 feet. That was originally built by Hammond Tech as their plumbing and sheet, or as the addition of the plumbing and sheet metal shop. And then the east building area, which is the part that's right on the sidewalk, that's the original 1933 garage. I think that gives you a good overview. Are there any specific questions I can answer?
Thank you. Does any board members have any questions?
I'm missing the hours of operation. I'm just missing it somewhere.
The hours of operation aren't stated. The hours of operation could be, they'll certainly be during general business hours. But since it's expected to draw lots of enthusiasts, we'll plan to keep the building open very late on some nights in order for people to bring in their cars. One of the things I would love to do is offer the building to classic car clubs for their club meetings in the evenings. It's a great place for them to bring their cars, bring them inside and have them inspected, talk about what kinds of service they might need or exchange ideas. And that also feeds the nightlife of the activity. I think it would be great to sponsor these on Thursday nights, have people go to 18th Street Brewery and Distillery for dinner or a drink. Someday we'll be able to congregate again. I loved what was going on in Mueller's Hardware with open mic night. We just see a lot of foot traffic in the evening that these businesses can stimulate.
So is there also a possibility then you'd be opened or having the car shows or things like that during a Saturday or Sunday afternoon or anything like that?
I think that's going to be a very strong possibility because that's when most people are available. And that's when people, I see that as being the fun time of this business.
Right. I know that you've gotten some good PR already as far as from, I think it's from the Post Tribune and also in, I would assume, Hoosier's Hottest Garage as far as Region Rules, as far as a card magazine or something like that. It's Total Classic Cars.
It is. Region Rides is classic cars. And I was surprised to see that the Tribune had picked up the redevelopment commission meeting. It's clearly an interesting project. And the Region Rides article it gives you an idea of how I'll go about this. I can't do it in a vacuum. I need to do it with and be able to tap into what enthusiasts want. And the Region Rides article was the first test of the market, and it showed that there really is an interest.
Okay, any other board members have any questions?
Madam Chairman,
Yes,
I just wanted to clarify for the board that the variance of use request is specific to 475 Fayette Street for the repairs of the vehicles. The comments about the property across the street and the parking lot are not before the board at this time.
Agreed.
Right, I also need make a comment, I believe, as far as would relate to the previous one too, that this is, as far as requesting a variance of use for a C4 to a C3 has never been done since the last passing of the new ordinance. Am I correct in what I read?
That is correct. When I did some preliminary research, it came to, I believe it was the early 90s or earlier mid 90s, something like this was approved. But since the new ordinance in 2003, no. That doesn't mean there might not be other areas that are grandfathered in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, any other questions, comments? Then we will move into a period of public expression. If there's anybody in the public that would like to address us, please state your name. You can't stand up. Please state your name and address.
This is Phil Talon again. My address is 7405 Park Place in Hammond. The last time I just spoke for the other group was the first time I've ever spoken at a BZA. So I figured why not break the record and actually speak twice in one night. But I've known Mr. Ferrantella for a very long time. A great businessman for the city of Hammond with his company, Engineered Companies. I know he's doing something different. It's very exciting to me to hear several projects happening specifically in downtown Hammond that fit into like what I would consider the arts sector. So again, I just want to express my support for this. And I also want to let Mr. Ferrantella know that I have a pretty sweet 2011 Chevy Traverse that I'll be happy to bring by and you guys can take a look at.
Thanks, Phil. It's good to see you again.
Anyone else like to speak? Anyone else? Hearing none. Any other comments you would like to make with your presentation before we move on?
No, ma'am. I appreciate your listening. I appreciate the interest and I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, any questions from board members at this time? Hearing none, we will ask for the staff to read their report.
Okay, our staff report recommendation reads as, in the case of Z-21-10, staff has reviewed the petitioner's proposal and recommends that the board make a favorable recommendation of the variance of use to the city council. Should the board feel the petitioner has met the standards, subject to the petitioner's 1, following all fire safety regulations set forth by both the Hammond Fire Department, the National Fire Protection Association codes and standards, prohibiting open flames from use on site until confirmation by the Hammond Fire Department of fire codes and standards being met to their satisfaction. Submitting a site plan for the proposed parking lot across Fayette Street, which meets all parking space, parking surface, traffic flow, landscaping, fencing, and lighting requirements per zoning ordinance, and addresses the encroachment into the Fayette Street right-of-way. 4, utilizing the fenced-in 50 by 50 foot courtyard for parking of all vehicles waiting to be repaired or the owner to pick up. All vehicle repair and restoration shall be inside the main building at 475 Fayette Street.
All right, we have, as far as findings of fact, there a motion to adopt the findings of fact that's presented, or are there any amendments to the findings of fact?
I'll make a motion to adopt the finding of fact.
We have a motion to adopt the findings of fact as presented. Is there a second?
To Roger, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
William Hutton,
Yes.
Roger Brock,
Yes.
Nancy Reagan,
Yes.
Dennis Radowski,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Okay, and what is the pleasure of the board in regard to a favorable, unfavorable, or no recommendation to the common council in regard to Z-21-10?
Make it favorable to the county council for the Z-21-10.
Do we have a second?
This is Roger, I'll
Seconded,
second.
Roger
Dennis Miller.
seconded. We have a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call vote?
Madam President,
Yes.
so the motion was to make a favorable recommendation, and I think what Ms. Regan meant was the city council, but the staff recommendation also had 4 conditions as
That's
part of
right, under the,
recommendation.
okay.
Okay. Can we backtrack then?
So I just, for the record, did Ms. Regan's motion include the 4 conditions specifically listed in the staff report, and did Mr. Brock's second include those?
Yes, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the staff report to go to the city council.
I agree, Roger.
Okay, so we have now a motion and a second with the recommendations from the staff to send this to Z-21-10 with a favorable recommendation to the common council. Could we have a roll call vote?
Dennis Radowski,
yes.
Nancy Reagan,
Yes,
Roger Brock,
Yes,
William Hutton,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
I abstain.
4 ayes, 0 nays, 1 abstention, motion passed.
All right, good luck.
Thank you all. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Brian. We went through many iterations of this, and it's been a good process. To all of you, this is going to be a fun business, and I look forward to it making a difference in downtown Hammond.
and
I
have a
appreciate
pop-
that.
I don't have my old Volkswagen anymore.
So,
You're still welcome, I'm sure.
Absolutely. There'll be lots of fun things to see.
Thank
All
you.
With
right,
that,
let's
I'll
move on
excuse
to
myself. Thank you.
Z-21-11, petition of 415 Sibley LLC for a conditional use permit regarding title section 9.11 brings 14 to allow for a residential use on 4 upper floors above the ground floor commercial area in a C3 central business district located at 415 Sibley Street in the city of Hammond. Have all notification requirements been sent and met and received?
Yes, they have.
All right, and do we have a petitioner that would like to speak for his project?
Yes, my name is Connor Hinks. I'm here representing 415 Sibley LLC.
Okay, I'm trying to find you. Okay, can you state your address?
The mailing address is 15657 South 70th Court in Orland Park, Illinois, 60462.
All right, would you like to tell us about your project?
Yep. This is a new development. The name of the building is going to be Madison Lofts. It's a 5-story mixed unit development at the corner of Sibley and Homan in downtown Hammond. The first floor will consist of 6,000 square feet of storefront commercial space. And then floors 2 through 5 above will consist of 54 residential apartments. 2% of those apartments will be adaptable. That's one. So of the 54 apartments, 4 of them are studios, 36 are 1 bedroom, 14 are 2 bedroom, for a total of 68 bedrooms on the upper 4 floors. The total square feet of the building is 66,000, and it'll have 54 parking spots on site, and it'll comply with all landscaping requirements.
All right, Any like to say anything else, or would the board members have any questions or comments? There would be one parking space for every unit then?
Correct.
Okay, if there, in the lower level, there would be what businesses?
Right now, it's the tenants are to be determined. It's just 6,000 square feet of commercial space on the first floor.
And would there be parking for them, or would that be street parking, or what?
That'll be street parking.
Any other board member have a question? So I guess we could move right into public comments. Anyone in the public that likes to speak for or against this project? Anyone in the public? Mr. Telly, you want to make number 3 appearance or what?
Sure.
Okay.
I feel like I'm just gonna say the same thing. That's why I was kind of being quiet, but obviously I support this project as well. So I think you have my address on file, so we just use that same one. And again, exciting to hear so much stuff going on in downtown. I'm sure most of you know there's a pretty large train project that's going to be going straight through downtown. It's about a $950 million investment from the state, from the communities. That's being run by NICD and financed from the RDA. And we're in a great position in that I think downtown Hammond truly is going to go through a revitalization. And to me, this is one of the first projects that's going to basically catapult a lot of other projects. So very excited about it. And there you go, number 3.
All right. Any other public comments? Hearing none, we'll close this period of public comments. Any other comments or questions from board members? Hearing none, could we have the staff report?
Yes, members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, staff has reviewed the petitioner's request and recommends that the BZA grant the conditional use permit should the board feel that the petitioner has met the standards, subject to 3 conditions. 1, the completion of the acquisition of all of the property. 2, the vacation of the alley, release of easements, and relocation of any required services. And 3, the consolidation of the property into a single lot subdivision.
Okay, we will move into as far as the staff's findings of fact, proposed findings of fact. And please note there are 3 recommendations in regard to this project. And what's the pleasure of the board as far as a motion in regard to adopting the findings of fact as presented? Or are there any amendments? Okay. Do we have any amendments to the findings of fact? Do we have a motion to adopt
I'll
the
make-
findings of fact?
I'll make a motion to adopt the finding of facts that they meet all 3 conditions.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second, Roger.
Okay, roll call vote.
Reagan,
Yes.
Roger Brock,
Yes.
William Hutton,
Yes.
Dennis Radowski,
yes,
Kathleen Hill,
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Okay, do we have, this is as far as a conditional use permit. This does not have to go to the common council. But as I stated before, we do have to adopt it one way as far in regard to including the recommendations of the staff. Do we have such a motion to approve, deny, whatever? For the
Nikki
conditional use,
Reagan, make the motion to approve,
including the staff recommendations?
including the staff recommendations 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, do we have a second to this motion?
I'll second, Roger.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call vote?
William Hutton,
Yes.
Roger Brock,
Yes.
Nancy Reagan,
Yes,
Dennis Radowski,
yes,
Kathleen Hill,
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Good luck. When does the project start? After the property is, all property is get in place? I would
Yes,
assume.
we have our pedal to the metal. It's
Okay.
hopefully this summer.
All right, then the weather's good, so keep pushing that pedal.
Yep.
All right, okay.
Thank
you. Good luck. Welcome to, hopefully we can officially welcome you to Hammond.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
You too. We'll move into D-21-12, petition of Phantom Fireworks Showroom LLC for administrative appeal regarding the denial of an improvement location permit in a C4 General Commercial District located at 7944 Cabela Drive in the city of Hammond. I believe the staff probably should do the presentation on this or discussion or anything. Am I correct?
Madam Chairman, the call question is to ask if whether or not notifications requirements have been met.
Okay, have all notification requirements been met and received?
Yes, they have.
Okay, is there anybody here from that would like to speak?
Yes.
Okay, and that is who?
Yeah, for the record, my name is Tim Oakes. I'm an attorney at Ice Miller with offices at 1 American Square, Suite 2900, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46282-0200. Here this evening on behalf of the petitioner, Phantom Fireworks Showrooms LLC. I'll refer to them as Phantom Fireworks. Phantom acquired the property at 7944 Cabela Drive in Hammond for the express purpose of constructing a new consumer fireworks store. And as part of its due diligence before buying that real estate, it did what all prudent buyers of real estate do. They checked the Hammond zoning ordinance to make sure that what they wanted to do on the property was a permitted use. And under the Hammond zoning ordinance, a consumer fireworks store of the type proposed by Phantom Fireworks is in fact a permitted use. This is a very unusual request that's before you tonight, as I understand it from the Hammond BZA perspective. I was informed that there hasn't been an administrative appeal in over 10 years. This is not a situation where I'm going to present you with plans or drawings. Those were submitted as part of the building permit and improvement location permit request. Instead, this is a legal situation. This is a process that occurred that does not comply with Indiana state law. The actions that the city took to deny the IOP were inappropriate and inconsistent with Indiana law. So just a little bit of background here, besides what I've already told you. Phantom Fireworks first put this property under contract back in August of 2019, over 18 months ago. And it first approached the town in the director of planning back in September 26th of 2019, emailed the proposed site plan, asking for assistance. They're new to Hammond in terms of this process. They had reached out to figure out what they needed to do. That was done through their contractor and through their engineers. It wasn't until February 28th of 2020 that they were even told at the time, inappropriately, I might add, that they had to go get the approval of the Hammond Redevelopment Commission. Now, ostensibly, they were told they needed to get that requirement because this property is noted in the staff report and also noted in my petition, is in what's typically called a TIF district. It is the most common way of putting it. And when you adopt a TIF district, adopt an allocation area, the redevelopment commission adopts a redevelopment a plan, and that was done here. And it went through the standard process, which included a presentation of the plan to the Plan Commission, and the Hammond Plan Commission confirmed it was in compliance with the comprehensive plan, which is required by statute, and off it went. Then getting back to the timeline here, so about March 1 of 2020, finally, hey, you've got a file here. I think there were some delays due to COVID, but finally on my client didn't know what the rules were. They're from out of state. They ended up wanting to be responsive and wanting to just go along with what the city was requesting. They went ahead and did a very, very detailed presentation of a very nice looking building, I might add, before the redevelopment commission. At the conclusion of that presentation, the redevelopment commission voted and decided they didn't want the fireworks store, and denied it. Subsequently to that, the general contractor for Phantom Fireworks submitted detailed plans, construction level plans to the city of Hammond, and all those plans are still on file with the city and the planning department, and I incorporate those documents into the record. Finally, that was done towards the end of November, and then finally on January 6th, my client, Phantom Fireworks, was informed that the improvement location permit had been denied by Mr. Poland by an email from him. And the basis for that was the denial of the fireworks store by the Hammond Redevelopment Commission. This has taken way too long. Quite frankly, I don't understand how we got to where we are, because it is not consistent with Indiana law. This really can be boiled down to a simple question, if you will. And that question is whether the Hammond Redevelopment Commission has the authority to deny a consumer fireworks store on this property. And the very simple answer is they do not. Indiana law is pretty clear. There is an entire chapter in the Indiana Code dealing with zoning. That's Indiana Code 36-7-4. And that chapter is the chapter that allows Hammond to have zoning, that allows the creation and governs the Hammond Plan Commission, that creates this Board of Zoning Appeals and gives it the authority that it enjoys. And it says how property is zoned. It controls zoning districts that property are put into and the use that are allowed. It has the exclusive authority to control what happens on that property. That property was appropriately zoned C4 under section 1919 of the Hammond zoning ordinance. A consumer fireworks store is a permitted use. And if the plans that my client submitted comply with the development standards applicable to the C4 district and to a fireworks store, they are entitled by law to the issuance of an improvement location permit. A redevelopment commission simply doesn't have that authority. And there's something called the Home Rule Act in Indiana that is intended basically to fill in gaps where there's uncertainty as to whether a local governmental unit like Hammond has authority. But when the state legislature tells local units like Hammond how they are supposed to exercise certain obligations and certain rights, then Hammond is required to follow those. We are a country, we are a state, and Hammond is a city that is operated by the rule of law. It doesn't get made up as we go. So whether or not the proposed fireworks store fits within the plan that was adopted as part of the redevelopment area, the TIF district, quite frankly, is irrelevant. Now, my client thought it did. That's why it went along with the game, but it doesn't matter. There was no authority in the very, very first instance. So the denial of the improvement location permit is inappropriate. It was required to be approved because everything that Phantom Fireworks submitted to the city to obtain its IOP and building permit complied with the Hammond zoning ordinance. And that's the end of the analysis. So be happy to answer any questions that the board might have, and we request that the board simply reverse the denial and approve the IOP. And again, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
Board members have any questions at this time? Sir, you mentioned in the presentation, there's also a mention of Cabela's. How are they related to the sale of the property or anything like that?
This site was originally part of what is the Cabela's development. And the site was, I believe, originally owned, and it is whom my client Phantom Fireworks actually purchased the property from. Cabela's Wholesale LLC was the prior owner. That's the only role that Cabela's played here.
Board members have any questions?
No.
Do we have any public comments at this time?
Madam Chairman, this is Kevin Smith, Corporation Counsel for the City of Hammond, and I'd like to speak in response to Mr. Oak's presentation.
Okay, you want to state your address?
Sure. My business address is 5925 Calumet Avenue, 3rd floor, Hammond, Indiana, 46320, which of course is City Hall Law Department.
Okay.
I'm here on behalf of the building department and Mr. Poland, the city planner, with regards to the petitioner's appeal to the board of the denial of the improvement location permit. I guess just in quick response before I discuss why I believe that the planner was within his statutory authority to deny the improvement location permit, I guess would state this. Mr. Oakes stated that it's a simple question. I believe the answer to the very simple question that Mr. Oakes posed is yes, not no, as it narrowly relates to the Redevelopment Commission's authority to make a determination of compliance with the use within its plan or allocation area. And the implication by Mr. Oakes of the City of Hammond, its planning department, its redevelopment commission is not following the rule of law, is not well taken, and in reality is actually a bit offensive, because I believe that our staff and the redevelopment commission, in acting on this improvement location permit, did so in a manner that is not only consistent with Indiana law, but I believe is well within its authority under Indiana law. I would also note that the redevelopment commission weighed its determination of compliance or non-compliance under the plan in detail. And in doing so at its October 6, 2020 meeting, it did so, I think, in a way that it looked at the situation and made a determination of compliance or non-compliance, ultimately determining it didn't comply with the plan. Where Mr. Oakes and the city disagree, I believe, is that whether or not Mr. Poland's denial of that improvement location permit, based solely upon the redevelopment commission's determination of non-compliance within the plan, has statutory authority or is permitted under Indiana law. Mr. Oakes believes the answer to that is no. We believe the answer to that is yes. And here's why. We believe that the improvement location permit, as denied by Mr. Poland, that he has the authority to deny that based on his report that he submitted to the redevelopment commission, and after the redevelopment commission debated and weighed in on a determination on whether or not the proposed improvement and project by the petitioner complied with the economic development plan of that area, which is known as the Woodmark Gateway Economic Development Area, or as Mr. Oakes correctly pointed out, is also a TIF district and an allocation area. I should also note that the building department determined that they did not need to act once Mr. Poland denied the improvement location permit. So the question, I think, really the crux of it is if the redevelopment commission's determination of compliance or non-compliance has no impact, then why would the redevelopment commission even have to do any review? I believe that the redevelopment commission statutes that exist in 36.7.14, and I'll discuss a couple of them here in my comments, specifically permit the redevelopment commission to weigh in on their development plan. The redevelopment commission does have the authority, of course, to establish a plan for economic development areas. That's under Indiana Code 36.7.14-41. And moreover, in developing a plan for the area, the statutes must be liberally construed to carry out the purpose of the redevelopment chapter, including the necessity for requiring the proper use of land so as to best serve the interests of the county and its citizens, or in this case, the city and its citizens. And looking at those statutes, and this is where we believe that the ability to determine compliance or non-compliance or enforcement under the plan is triggered. It's where the Hammond Redevelopment Commission is granted all the rights, powers, privileges, and immunities that may be exercised by the Hammond Redevelopment Commission in an urban renewal area, and that's 36.7.14-43, which includes the ability of a redevelopment commission to make plans for the enforcement of laws and regulations relating to the use of the land and the use and occupancy of buildings and improvements thereon. And that's Indiana Code 36-7-14-32. And so the way that we read these statutes, at least my review of them, would indicate that the redevelopment commission had the authority to not only adopt a plan for the Woodmark Gateway Economic Development Area, but moreover, in adopting the plan, the commission had the ability to include regulations relating to the use of the land and the use of the occupancy of buildings and improvements within that redevelopment area. Therefore, their determination of compliance or non-compliance does constitute the proper exercise of its discretion, and then Mr. Poland's subsequent determination that the non-compliance within the plan, in other words, the determination of the non-compliance of the plan by the redevelopment commission was sufficient basis for Mr. Poland to deny the improvement location permit and therefore deny the ability of Mr. Oakes's client to move forward. That's kind of where the city is on the issue. We believe that Mr. Poland's determination was appropriate, and therefore would request the Board of Zoning Appeals to affirm the determination by Mr. Poland. Thank you.
Any other comments? During public expression, comments?
None other than, I would like a rebuttal, but don't know if that's appropriate now or later.
Well, there will be a chance for you to comment.
Thank you.
Right. Anyone else in the public? Hearing none, we will give you a chance to make your comments in
Sure.
regard to Mr. Smith's comments.
So I found it amusing you was offended when my client's offended that there's been delay, and then all they expect is for people at Hammond to comply with the law. And that has not occurred. There is nothing in the Hammond zoning ordinance that gives Mr. Poland the right to deny an IOP because of anything that the Hammond Redevelopment Commission might do. There is nothing in Indiana statute that allows that. There is no case law to even suggest that somehow a redevelopment commission suddenly has the same authorities that a plan commission or a board of zoning appeals has. It does not. The language that Mr. Smith was referring to involves a situation, it is intended to encourage a community like Hammond when it adopts an economic development plan to have the redevelopment commission work with the plan commission and the council so that if zoning changes are needed in order to assist, to make plans to make sure that it's developed in a way that the community wants, they can do that. Hammond had that opportunity. If Hammond, acting through Indiana Code 36-7-4, if you go to the 600 series, did not want fireworks stores in this economic development area, in this allocation area, it could have taken action to do so. It could have changed the zoning. It could have done a text amendment to its zoning ordinance. It did nothing. And instead, there's a piece of property that by every provision of the Hammond zoning ordinance says that a fireworks store is permitted on this property. And there is nothing in state statute that says a redevelopment commission can change that. They do not have that authority. So we ask that the improvement location permit be approved so that we can move forward with the construction of a legal fireworks store.
Right. It's my understanding that we do not have authority to engage in back and forth discussions in regard to the two prominent attorneys in regard to this.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Westland?
yes. I just want to address what you just said. I think both attorneys have given you their legal arguments. I think if you have a question with regard to those legal arguments, you can ask Mr. Smith or Mr. Oakes a question. So I just want to clear up your last statement or your last kind of questioning statement, number one. And then number two, at the end of that, I think it's a pretty simple, motion and vote. It's either a motion to affirm the denial of the improvement location permit, or it's a motion to overturn Mr. Poland's denial of the improvement location permit.
Okay, Mr. Westland, I'm going to speak just for myself. I don't know if the board is going to agree with me, but it's my also understanding that you were at the redevelopment commission meeting when they adopted or they denied this. And you are the attorney for us, for the BZA. And I personally like to also hear your recommendation as far as what you feel should be done and as far as your views, pros, cons, or whatever. Because you're our attorney. Because if it goes to court, I could be wrong. You're going to be one of the people representing us.
Well, I appreciate that. I think you can bank on the fact that we're probably going to be going to court, but it would be inappropriate. You're sitting as a judicial body in this, right? The policy or the decision that you have to make is not one that I should be weighing in on, as your attorney. That should be a decision that the Board of Zoning Appeals makes. Mr. Smith is representing the city and Mr. Poland. Mr. Oakes is clearly representing, the petitioner. You're correct. I was present at the redevelopment commission meeting, but I didn't weigh in on that either. That was, they made a determination, and you have the minutes of the meeting in your record if you would like to look at them, but it wasn't a situation, and just like the previous petitions before you, I don't weigh in on whether a petitioner's met the standards. That's not my job. My job is to make sure the procedure is followed. And at this point, you've heard the arguments from both. And if, like I said, if you have questions for either attorney, go ahead and ask those questions. But really, we're looking for a motion.
I'd like to make the motion. This is Nancy Reagan. I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we affirm and deny this approval. After listening to Mr. Kevin and Smith about this, I think it's, I'd like to make a motion to deny it.
Deny what?
The affirm and deny the petition.
Okay,
so just to make sure the record's really clear, the motion by Ms. Reagan was to affirm Mr. Poland's determination to deny the improvement location permit. Is that correct?
Permit. Exactly. That's it.
Madam President, Bill Hutton, I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Hutton,
Yes.
Roger Brock,
You're on
Roger
mute.
Brock,
Roger, you're mute.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Nancy Reagan,
Yes.
Dennis Radowski,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
I think I'm going to abstain on this one.
4 ayes, 0 nays, 1 abstention, motion passed.
I'd like to thank the board for their time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will move to commissioner comments. Any commissioner comments? Any staff comments?
Tom, are we expecting anything for the next meeting?
Mr. Novak, are we expecting anything?
I
for the next
apologize.
meeting?
Yes, we'll have at least one thing, yes.
Okay, so that meeting is, I believe, May 25th, is that correct?
Yes, as I recall, May 25th, Tuesday. 6 p.m.
Okay. No other staff comments?
Okay, any public comments? We shall adjourn the meeting at 7:15. Good luck, everyone.
Have a good.
Thanks everybody for the patience and presentations today.
Thank you.
Everyone for
Be
the
safe.
what?
For your patience and presentations.
Okay.
Have a great night,
welcome.
everybody.
Everybody have a great night. Bye.
You too.
Mhm.